Hello everyone, I'm going to do another trend trading video, and this one is going to be a multi-time frame idea. So if you're perhaps more inclined for trading the lower time frames, this is a good way of kind of smoothing out the flow of entries on the lower time frames, and it's also particularly good if you just want to trade certain sessions and want to go for big risk to reward. The reason it's good for certain sessions is you'll find a lot of the setups happen around London or New York, or even on the yen pairs Tokyo Open. So it's quite good if you've only got a small window to work in as well. Okay, and it goes right back to my first trading ideas, which were essentially trend trading using 2 time frames. In this example, I'm going to show you I'm using the 4-hour time frame for the trend and for the trade setups, and then the 5-minute time frame to enter. And you can mix and match that. You could use the daily with the 1 hour, or the weekly with the 4-hour, or the 4-hour with the 15-minute. So you can kind of adjust it to suit your own needs. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do, as with the other trend trading ideas, is just come up with a simple way of determining the trend on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, there isn't a right way or wrong way of doing this. There's really, you just kind of need to decide what you prefer and stick with that. So for this example, just using the pattern of higher highs and higher lows, and you can see trailing up below the lows here, the 4 hours being in an uptrend on the pound dollar, and although it's consolidating, it's still long. It hasn't broken below and started making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, once that is determined, you just need to look for bars that close in the direction of the trend. So here you can see bars were closing down, they turn and they close up. Bars were closing down, they turn and they close up. Okay, and again here and again here. Okay. Whenever this happens, then you go down then to the 5-minute time frame and look for entries in the direction of the 4-hour trend. Okay, and as long as the consecutive bars, the next bars, continue to close up, okay, you can continue to look for trades until the direction of the 4-hour changes. Okay, and then you stop. So once we've had our bar turn around, then we can look on the M5. So we just go down to the M5, and then on the M5 we're looking for that pattern of higher highs and higher lows to be in place, and then we just take a simple breakout entry. So here's the close of the 4-hour bar that's closed up, and so now the higher high, higher low is still just in play. So we take our first entry. Okay, breakout of the high, stop below the low. You want to put your stop below the swing, by all means do that. I don't find there's any advantage in that at all. The disadvantage I find is that it's not as easy to go for the really big risk to rewards. Okay, what we're doing here is we're trying to take a really tight entry into a 4-hour trend, and obviously that's going to give you a lot of stop outs. But what it's also going to give you is some very big risk to reward trades. And you do find that when these set up around, say, the start of London, you know, you can, like, within an hour or two you can hit 10R, and let's say this is a 10R strategy with a trailing stop. Okay, so you see this first entry stops out, and you get a second entry here which stops out, and now we're kind of making lower lows, lower highs. So we pause on that. The 4 hour is still good for longs, so we just need to wait for the 5-minute chart to make a higher high, give a retrace that sets up a higher low, and look for our next entry. And we do get another one here which also stops out, and another one here which just stops out. So now we've 4 losses in a row. H4 still long, M5 still making higher highs, higher lows. This is where this one stops out and it gives us another setup, and this one goes till a 10R. Okay, that's it. Really simple. It's just combining 2 time frames, a higher time frame trend and a lower time frame for precise entries. With regards exit, I'd aim for 10R, but I would definitely look at using a trailing stop. So something like at 4 or 5R, move to break even, and then perhaps trail below swing lows. And if you want to do a hard exit at 10R, then you can, or you can keep trailing, and you probably would have got about 7R with this, depending on where you trailed your stop. Okay, and it's as simple as that. You just you can refine it more if you want. One good thing about it is you can scan multiple pairs for setups. Okay, and although there's a lot of action, it's not like you have to be at the charts all the time. You could quite easily, if we look at this recent uptrend in the pound, you can see that if you don't mind missing some entries, you can see you're going to get some nice setups around London, if that's where you want to trade, and you could trade for a few hours, and they're not all going to work out, obviously, and you know, you can trade for a few hours and hit some nice big winners. And you know, like I said, it's not a high win rate, but it is going to be high risk to reward. So if that kind of suits you, this might be something interesting to you. This here is another nice little setup that would have happened in London. Clearly would have got 10R. You get quite a lot of these where you would get entries and probably go to 5R and then break even. You see these 3 here. I doubt you would have got entries that got to 10R. So these might have only been small wins with taking a few losses in there, but then you're going to get a good chance of these 10R wins as well. So yeah, leave me some comments. I never really looked at this much on sort of daily with the 1 hour, but I'm pretty sure that it'd be a very similar scenario, because you'll find that certainly on the this is the 1 hour now, certainly on the pound and dollar pairs, there's a lot of setups around London open. So if this daily trend was short here, you'd be looking at these 1 hour entries here, and you can see they quite often occur around the London Open. So you might well be able to tailor it if you've just got a small window to trade in the morning, so you could trade it on the 1 hour as well. So like I say, leave me some comments, and I will speak to you soon.